Great morning, Skylar.
Great morning.
The best Monday, May 19th, 2025 I'll ever have.
Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. Well, we should talk about what we want to do. So you came to me, we were playing, I think we were just playing like a group Molly put together in Lenexa, and you started talking about you wanted to make some videos for and call it pickleball tips, right?
Well, actually, first, I think we hit a little bit, and I was kind of telling you like issues I had on the court moving.
Oh, that's right.
And then you're like, I actually had those same issues. I've already worked through them. I can help you.
Yeah.
And then you set up a workout. We did it like 2 weeks. It went really well. And then I was like, we should just like record these and like share it with everyone else and like have it be real raw. Like, yeah, I get exhausted in these workouts.
Yeah.
I don't know what half these exercises are. Or I do an exercise and you're like, bro, your whole body is tilted.
Right.
That I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I would say, then we're like, well, what if we just started recording and then we went like more in depth of like, well, what if we did this and this and this? And now we're here. Right.
So you're a 6.0 duper rated player. I'm like a 4.2. And so having gone through a lot of the physical things that you've gone through and worked out in a way that's helped me overcome those, you wanted those, and I want to get better at pickleball, of course. And so it's kind of a natural from there. Okay, let's do a workout once a week and also do some drilling once a week. And yeah, I remember, yeah, I set up the ball barrier and said, hey, step over it like that. And you're like, oh, ow, oh.
Yeah. I was born with a lot of gifts, and loose hips was not one of them.
Right. Those hips lie. They lie. That's funny. So then as we started talking about it more, I said, great, I have a YouTube channel that I have already gotten subscribers to, and we can go live. You and I both have jobs outside of pickleball. And we both of us don't have a ton of time, but we're passionate about getting better and helping other people get better and release. And of course, that makes us feel good. And so release some more content for that, but do it in a way that helps us both, but is also sustainable. And so we thought of kind of a format that would work for that.
And just documents our journey of, all right, we can see where we started, keeps us accountable.
Right.
Let's say 6 months from now, we're like, oh, we went from here to here. And we're going to kind of see the process, document the process. And as we both said, is we don't really care if it really makes money or anything.
Right.
It's just fun and we want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we asked each other, okay, if this is going to make any money, we're guaranteed to never make any money, would we still do it?
We're like, yes.
Okay, then let's do it.
That was the whole point. It's just going to be fun.
Yeah, right.
We're doing all these things anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just record it for our own benefit, our own fun. And then we'll also share it with the world. And if no one watches, cool. If everyone watches, also cool.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Absolutely. So then you're thinking, okay, yeah, and we can do some videos on pickleball training and physical training. And immediately you see benefits from the physical training part. And immediately I see benefits from the pickleball training part. And like, okay, there's so many people in my situation and your situation that we can kind of do all of the, so then of course it would make us feel better if not only we do it, but then other people do it also. And
I think as we both said, it's just a lot of us are going through many of the same things.
Yeah.
So if I have the exact same issues someone else has that you're solving my issue, I would like to help them be like, I've struggled with this for 30 years of my life. You've helped me. I'm like, I'm moving better than I ever have. So if we're able to then help one person who's like, I have that exact issue. Oh my God, I've been looking for this. It's like, that's worth it.
Yeah.
And then maybe for you with pickleball, you're like, all right, there's a lot of videos. They're very put together, but you put it in a way, or you ask the question that's like, that clicked with me.
Right.
I get it. I'm finally not making that same mistake, or I'm finally making the correction that I've been struggling with for so long.
Yeah, there's a lot of like influencer flashy, shiny videos. And yeah, it's how you hit the shot, but not why you hit the shot or what you do after you hit that shot and where you need to stand, what you need to get ready for. And also sometimes you shouldn't even hit that shot because it's the wrong scenario. Hit a different shot. And that's the benefit of having someone who's a 6'0" helping you with some training, pickleball training, because it's comprehensive. It's not just, isolated to one thing.
Or even as we've talked about it, you might even hold the paddle or have a certain body type that it's like the technique I'd suggest for you would be very different from someone else.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're watching a video that describes this. They're like, this doesn't feel right. I'm like, yeah, I'd actually never suggest you hit that way based on how you grip the paddle, how you set up kind of your, let's say, if I have tighter hips, I might not be able to do certain things that someone else with very loose hips can do. And if I keep trying to do it, be like, everyone says do this, everyone says do this. And it's like, my body can't do that.
Yeah.
So what can I do? How do I play the best for what I have?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
While we work towards getting my hips looser, moving better, to where then it's like, oh, now I get why everyone does this. This is better, but only if you actually have the ability to do those things.
Yeah. So then for me, I'm a pickleball lead at Lifetime, and I've worked really, really hard to get open plays super structured at every level, and consistently, if it's a 3-0 to 3-5 open play, then it should be that level of players. If it's a 4-0 plus, then it should be that level players. And then so then I've done that. And then I realized the other struggle was I don't want people to feel siloed, and I want them to get the opportunity to play better players, but then also learn from better players, which if it's too static and not dynamic enough, that happens. And so, so I've changed open plays to overlap a little bit, but then this is more of like, okay, so when it overlaps, when you're trying to get better, when you're trying to drill, this is how you do that. So you can get better, you can play against better people, and your body, your game can get better overall. So your road to this point, you've been primarily a player, not a coach. What was your road to 6-0? You come from tennis.
So I played Division III tennis. I graduated in 2016. Then I gave back to my school because they gave so much to me. So I wanted to be the assistant coach for a season before I kind of started, let's say, adulting.
Right.
So when I went back, I was the assistant coach for the spring of 2017. And so I worked like 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. just practice, workout.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of time.
Yeah.
So there was someone in the community who was like a 4-5 tennis player who didn't have really anyone at their level to hit with. I had a lot of free time. So again, it's like, all right, I'm available. I have something he needs. And then he actually helped me because he was an acupuncturist. So he's like, oh, I could like do some acupuncture on you, try to help you out.
Yeah.
So kind of what we're doing, it's I have something he needs, I can give to him. He has something I would try, and he could give to me.
Sure.
And then he actually invited me to dinner at his house with 2 of his friends, and they talked about pickleball for 3 hours, saying, oh, it's just this silly sport. You love it. You just have fun.
Right.
All this. And like, I'd say since I was like just done with my tennis, let's say career playing, I was like, oh, I'll try it. And then they got me on the court, taught me the rules, had a great time. Like every Wednesday in Walla Walla, we played from like 9 to noon. All their courts were packed. I think they had like 6 at that time. And like, it was like the first time in my life, I'd say it just felt like a big community. Even in 2017, everyone's there just having fun. The vibe's good. I'm then hanging out with people after dinners. We then get lunch. We're just like talking about pickleball, laughing, and just having a great time.
Classic pickleball vibes. Yeah.
I'm like, that's what got me into pickleball.
Right.
Then I actually came back and I taught tennis for about 4 years, where I worked 7 days a week. And I ended up leaving the tennis industry because in the summer of 2020, I played like my first pickleball tournament in Chicago, and I actually triple crowned in 4-5. But it wasn't the winning that I realized that actually got me hooked on pickleball. It was, I got to like hang out with my partners all day.
Right.
We had a group, we had dinners. Like, I was like, this is too much fun for me to like quit.
Right.
So then I actually was like, okay, how can I find a job that allows me to keep playing pickleball, but more so keep having friends, keep having fun with the community, keep building my relationships while also a sport that's fun and enjoyable. And so then I ended up actually getting a remote job starting at like $15 an hour. I kind of worked my way up through the company to where now I'm the CFO. And so like that one change of wanting to play more pickleball and be part of like more relationships and community led us to this point.
Right. Right. Interesting. Yeah. I'm kind of the other way around, where I worked in corporate America, and then left and started a business, and then had a bunch of free time, and then it started filling up with pickleball, and I needed to figure out, okay, how do I make my pickleball time productive? Because I'm just wasting a bunch of time hooked on pickleball. And so then that kind of led me, I started coaching a little bit, and then that led me to where I am here. So now still pickleball takes a bunch of our time, but our lives are oriented in a way where it's supposed to, which is awesome.
And then I guess I just talk about like my road to 6-0. That was kind of how I got into pickleball.
Yeah.
And then it was, I started at the 4-5 level.
Right.
I triple crowned the first tournament.
So you started at 4-5, you triple crowned your first tournament. How long did it take you to get to 5-0?
That's where I'd say like, what do you mean by 5-0? Then I would say I started playing 5-0.
Yeah.
And immediately went like 0-2, 1-2. Finally started like winning a main draw match in 5-0. And then in 2022, I believe, that's where then I played probably like 20 5-0 tournaments. And I think I got gold in like 18 of them and like silver in like 5 of them.
Okay, so you started in 2017.
So that's when I was first introduced to pickleball.
Right, okay.
I like to say I really started playing pickleball seriously the summer of 2020.
Okay.
2 weeks before the first tournament that I traveled to Chicago with, where I was finally like, well, if I'm traveling, I should probably play more than once a week. And so then I think I played like every day for 2 weeks to train for it. And I was like, okay, this was like the best time of my life. I really loved these 2 weeks. I had fun. I don't want this to end.
Right.
And then from that point, I don't think I've really stopped playing very, very consistently.
Okay.
So that's when I'd say I started taking pickleball seriously, even if, let's say, today it's more seriously.
Right.
That's what got me into competitive pickleball.
Okay. Okay, cool. And then recently, so then now you've been playing in a lot of PPAs and traveling for that.
Yeah, so after I did well at 5-0 in 2022, in 2023, I was like, okay, I'm doing really well in 5-0. I played one pro tournament in 2022, the APP in St. Louis, where me and my partner Tavon went 4-2. And that was where I was like, okay, even though I'm not winning, this was the most fun I had.
Sure.
It's like, okay, I'm playing at a level that I think is good for me, where I was winning so much 5-0.
Right.
It almost got to the point of like, am I really progressing? I'm like kind of winning just off of like just pure power and stuff back then. Where then with the pro, it's like people can handle pace. You have to like learn a different skill set, and like that was very exciting and fun. And so then after that experience in 2023, I tried to like get some things in order, talk to my girlfriend, and be like, is it okay for me to like kind of go for this? And what I found out that works best for most people is like, if you're going to start trying to play pro, is you need to play a lot of pro tournaments within the first few months just to get your name out there, get established, and just get used to the pro game. The first few pro tournaments, I did not play anywhere near my level of, I'm not even comfortable yet.
Right.
And then like the 4th pro tournament, I think I played in like a month. I'm like, oh, I'm finally like able to hang. I'm able to like actually feel comfortable on the court.
That's going to be interesting too, because it's not like you can just play pro level rec games all the time.
Correct. Yeah. And especially in here, I wouldn't say we really had that, that level. So the only way I get to experience the pro game was playing a pro tournament. And it's my first pro tournament. So, you know, you're a little nervous. I'm also playing with people who had never played pro.
Right.
Because those were the only partners I could get.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I'm the leader on the court in a pro tournament playing like, I guess I played the one in 2022. Playing my second pro tournament, I'm now the veteran of our team where I have no clue what I'm doing either.
Right. Now, if you look at your duper, there's matches in there very late in tournaments against like J.W. Johnson and Tyson McGuffin, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And again, you only get those reps playing in the tournament.
Right.
So even then, it's like you see them all the time on TV. It's very different experiencing their game, experiencing the pressure, the shots they hit, the deception they have. You just don't get that without those tournament reps.
Right. That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Okay, so all of that knowledge and that experience, and that kind of brings us to where you're at now, and you feel like you're at a spot where the next thing to, I don't know, maybe break through to winning a lot more pro tournaments, just like you won a lot more 5-0 tournaments, is the physical conditioning part of it.
Well, that's one part. I would say I've probably been about a 6-0 now for year and a half. And it's something I like to say is like, how do you break through whatever plateau you're at?
Right.
And so for me, it's, okay, maybe I even have the pickleball shots to break through. I need to work on my physical game. I need to work on my mental game, my emotional game, and even like how I communicate with partners, how I pick partners. It's every aspect of my game needs to improve. And that's kind of where I'm at.
Right.
And sometimes I think it's hard of, okay, I know I want to work on my physical game. What do I do?
Right.
What do I actually need to improve?
Right.
And let's say I even know the exact physical skills I need to work on. Well, what workouts actually translate to what I need?
Right.
Because like, I'm not someone, I don't like wasting time.
Yeah.
I don't want to just do a workout,
right,
use energy and whatever and be like, this doesn't translate to what I wanted.
Right.
I was like, I don't see the point.
Yeah.
And then I lose motivation because I'm like, is this actually helping me in whatever way I want?
Yeah. Or you go to a physical therapist or a trainer and they say, okay, yeah, you know, their goal is typically lower body fat or increase muscle mass or increase mobility, but do they understand pickleball? And are you doing the right physical things or mental things or whatever for pickleball, not just in general?
Yeah, and for me,
right,
that's where like I don't like cookie cutter programs.
Right.
I like it to be like, I know this is directly helping what I need.
Right.
And so then I'm like, now I'm motivated. Now it's not hard to get in the gym. Like this morning, woke up at 5:30 a.m. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can work out with Skylar. We've done workouts. I've seen direct improvements in what I needed. I want to keep working out.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Now it's not hard.
Yeah.
Where it used to be hard to get me in the gym doing stuff because I'm like, I don't think this helps.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste time or waste energy when I'm like, this isn't doing anything or potentially making me worse.
Yeah, and I think then that's like where we're at right now doing this is I know, I see how you're moving. You tell me how you want to be moving, and I say, oh, dude, I had the same issues. I trained those issues out of my body a long time ago, and I know what you're dealing with, and I know what can help. And it turns out that when I'm coaching new players, they'll say, you know, they don't, like, for example, they don't bend their knees, and it turns out that they have a knee issue, or they haven't bent their knees playing sports ever, or in a very long time,
or never played a sport,
and
they don't even know what an athletic position is.
Right. So they're bending their knees is to pick something up off the ground, or to get in and out of their car, or on and off the couch, right, or their chair in their office, not in the context of a sport and athletically. And so what ends up happening when I'm training new people is, okay, after we do some drilling or a training session, let's go upstairs here in Lifetime and let me show you some workouts that you should be doing this week, and not full rigorous things that are gonna make you feel like you can't play pickleball at all, but some things that are difficult and will get your body stronger in the context of the movements you need to be making while you're playing pickleball. And it's so interesting that, you know, an older person who never played sports, and you who plays 6-0 pro pickleball, it's some very similar things that you both need to be doing, because you both need to add some strength or some agility for the same type of shot. You know, it's
I like to say I'm probably one of the best people at coaching people who can't move well,
right,
because
right.
I've learned how to compensate for not being a great mover. Or I always think it's funny when they're like, "Oh, do like yoga." It's like, all right, I'm ready. The first step is sit cross-legged. I'm like, can't do it.
Right.
You're already past the level I can even do.
Right.
This is too much.
Right.
So, because like even when I went to a chiropractor when I was like 6 years old, they're like, your hips are tighter than the 80-year-olds we work on. So it's like, that's just what I've been living with my whole life.
Right.
And so sometimes when I watch, let's say, those pro videos and they're like, all right, step 1, bend your knees, do this. I'm like, you've already lost people. If you can't do it, what do you do now?
Yeah.
And there's not any content for those people of, I physically can't already do what they want.
Right.
Where I think I've been able to compensate a lot of, okay, I can't do this, but I can do these things.
Yeah.
Based on this is what actually works the best for you. And yes, it's not the best thing in the overall context, but for you at this exact moment where you're at, this is what you should be doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's kind of half of what we'll do is in these episodes is, well, part of it. So we'll talk through some of your matches that you've had recently, some struggles with partners, adapting, and tips that anyone can use in any competitive play that they're in, whether it's their first tournament at 3-0 or they're a pro player or looking to be pro. We'll go over also some of my play and breaking that down and offering some, not just, hit a third shot, but this is why, and this is where, and this is where you need to be afterwards. You keep strategy things. You keep hitting this shot and leaving this open. Don't hit that shot, hit this other shot, or don't leave this open. More comprehensive. That will be super beneficial for a lot of people who really, you can't find that online either in a really good way, because I think a lot of it is influencer led and maybe some people who aren't super good. I find that the best instructional videos are videos where an influencer or otherwise is just casually talking with a pro about, hey, I keep doing this or whatever, you're going to help me with that. And it'll be kind of a throwaway comment of, the influencer or someone will say, okay, but what about this? And they'll say, oh yeah, and in this, change your shot a little bit or hit it over there because it's coming back over here. And I hear that and think, wow, I don't think they realized that was the most important part of that whole video. And throw away the rest of the video. That comment that was just, oh yeah, in this one you should do that. That was the most beneficial thing for me out of that whole video. So,
and I agree. And I will say, I actually think there's some really good channels who do break down in that way.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why I think I've honestly sometimes struggled to make videos, because I'm like, anything I say, there's a video that someone else has said.
Right.
However, it's like, maybe I say it in a way, or they happen to stumble upon this video and they get that one thing. You're like, oh my God, that one thing, that's what I wanted. Even if I say 10 things and 9 out of 10, you're like, new. And then you have the one, you're like, that's gold.
Right.
So that's kind of been the reason why I'm like, okay, let's start this, because I might be able to say something in some way that helps one person that another video hasn't.
Right. And that's what's great. That's what's great on the you coaching me, because, as a 4-5 player, I feel, I feel confident being a 4-5, but there's some things that keep me, like consistency and whatever, from being a 5-0. And that's what I need, is just the cut right to what the issue is and stop doing that. Do this instead. You show me what to do, or you give me a suggestion and I'll be able to replicate it. I just need to know what that is. And
I'd say a lot of issues with consistency, there are some technical things,
right?
But I think a lot of it's, you guys are just hitting a shot you should never hit.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you're missing because I would never hit that shot.
Right.
It is hard. That's why you're missing.
Right.
Hit this instead. And you're like, bro, I didn't need to change anything about my technique. If I just hit here, my consistency shot up.
Just like the last time we drilled and you said, no, just same thing. Just get it lower than the height of the net when it gets to me on my side. Like, okay, great. And so then speed ups change from, okay, let me just overwhelm you to, let me put it in a spot that you can't just turn it into a rocket back to me, because I play another 4-5 or a 4-0 and I can overwhelm them. But then I play you, and anything that's up higher than the level of net, wherever you are, you're crushing me. And if I can just get that lower, same shot, but I just took some power out of it, so it died earlier. And then, oh, all of a sudden I'm in it. And I didn't have to reinvent my strategy or learn a new shot. I just had to hit the same shot softer, or just don't pick the shot that gave you an advantage.
Yeah, and I'd say that's the biggest thing about moving from level to level is maybe what got you to this level is the exact thing holding you back from moving forward.
Right.
And that's honestly where I'm at. I'm like, well, maybe the exact thing that got me to be a 6-0 is why I can't progress past a 6-0.
Right.
And I'm very aware of that. And it's like, all right, let's work through it. Let's figure it out. Potentially it is my physical game, mental game, that it's like, honestly, you have a 7-0 game. You just have a 4-0 body. Maybe you have a 5-0 mental game. So all of that translates into you being a 6-0 of maybe your pickleball skills are, again, 12. Right. But everything else is so bad that you end up just being a 5-0, a 6-0.
Right.
So it's really getting down to like, what do you need to improve your level?
Right. And we hope this channel is super collaborative. So, you know, I can help you move better. You can help me play better. But neither of us are sports psychologists, right?
Yeah.
And neither of us have you know, played pro in other sports. And where there are other people that have done both of those, or whatever it is, who can chime in and say, hey, this is a great idea. Someone has a question about this or that. Hey, I get into this rut in my thinking in when it's 10-4, and then the other team always ends up coming back, or I can't win the third match. The third match is so hard. The 2 out of 3, the third one is so hard to put away. You know, how do I get better at that? And someone's going to have a suggestion.
And yeah, and just building the community where we're all helping each other out. Yeah. We're all going through the same thing. We all have the same goal.
Yeah, right.
We all want to improve.
Right.
We all want to have more fun.
Right.
Build better connections. And it's just, someone else might have an answer we don't.
Yeah.
And where, like, just when you're saying like, oh, I always struggle in the third match of a tournament, maybe our first thing would be, you're getting too tired.
Right.
It's not your skills.
Right.
You need to work on your stamina, and you'll never win a tournament until you build up your stamina to be able to play that third or fourth match. Where, you're the best team in the first match of the tournament, in the second match of the tournament. Then once you lose your legs, you're actually not that good. So your issues, again, aren't maybe technique. It's you need to get in the gym, get stronger, so you can use your actual skills in the third match.
Yeah.
And they just never realize that.
Right.
So those things where it's like, how do we figure out like what's the root cause of your actual issue?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we've figured out the root cause of yours, and it's some workout stuff that we're going to do. We're going to cut this off, and then we're going to film that. And the root cause for me is some shot selection or some technique things.
Well, I'd actually say we might not know your root cause yet.
Right.
We need more time of, I've thought about this so much and been working on it that I could tell you very quickly.
Right.
These are the things I can't do on the court. Can you help me get better at them?
Right.
With exercises to be able to move and get into certain positions.
Right.
So I was able to kind of give you that.
Yeah.
Where for you, you might still be at like, I think it's this, I think it's this. And that's something we could work together of, oh, your issue actually wasn't that.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So for us, it might be figuring out your root cause of what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool that we'll be able to do both at the same time. And
in real time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that we know yet. Now it's like you can see how we figure it out, the discussions we have, the talks, and they might be like, oh, I'll try this. Be like, I don't know if this is it. Yeah. Maybe after the 5th or 6th thing, it's like, oh, that was gold. This is what I need.
Yeah.
And then maybe I develop you the same plan of, okay, now I know what it is.
Yeah.
We know what it is. Now I work with you on these same things. We do a drill session. Now go work with this. Here's your training for the week. And then hopefully week over week, you're like, just as I'm moving better, you're like, oh my God, I'm not missing anymore. Oh my God, my speed ups are amazing. I can't get attacked anymore. So that's kind of the goal, and it's just figuring out in real time.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do now then is we'll cut this and start a new video. We're going to go upstairs and measure on the machine body weight, skeletal muscle mass, and percent body fat. We have a workout. We're going to do 4 rounds of kettlebell swing, machine row, side low to high weighted ball throws, and wind bike. And we're going to do, these workouts are designed to be very difficult, but any workouts we're doing for strength and agility, we don't need to go super heavy on the weight. We want to be like 80% on the weight and high reps, or for time or to failure, rather than muscling through super heavy weight for low reps. And we'll typically do things in rounds, because we can track the weight that we're using and the time that it takes. And so overall, we'll be able to see on paper your body change with muscle mass and body fat, and then we'll also be able to see on paper what your body can do differently. Well, a lot of these are tailored to our core and our legs, and we'll do them from positions that strengthen some stabilizer stuff in your hips. We'll also start every week with a stretch. There's some stretches that I go through and some stretches that I've had Philip go through that have been really helpful. And so I think we'll just make a separate video and people can go through that stretch. If we add to it or if we change it, then we can change it. But it's just great overall stretching. And then this week also I'll take a video of a game of mine that I'm playing, or two, and probably one. And then next week, while during this, we can have you break it down. And so there's going to be a lot of similarities that other people have in their games that I'm just breaking mine down, and giving me suggestions is going to be super helpful. Then we'll be able to drill to those and give me some drills. So you'll leave each week with having done a workout, it being tracked, and then workouts for the week. And I'll leave each week with you having breaking down. I don't know. My play and done some drills with me. We'll say
analyzing.
Analyze
and
my
we'll do
play.
it in real time where
exactly.
It's not that, okay, I've already looked at this. I already know everything to tell you. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing in real time of, all right, this happened. Let's see what happens here. This is kind of what I think will probably happen. Mm-hmm. Does it happen or not? Mm-hmm. And like kind of figure out, this is how I think through matches.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I want, like with the workouts, and why I like us recording it, is a lot of times you see these workouts and people crush them. And then someone else tries to be like, oh my God, I suck. I couldn't get through it. It's literally, we did a workout where Skylar told me to do 3 rounds. And it was like, we had kettlebell swings, machine rows, and the wind bike like 2 weeks ago. I could only do 2 rounds. Right. And I was absolutely gassed. And I'm telling you, I can't do another round.
Right.
I was just starting to kind of get back into working out. The body was feeling good. But have it be like real of, I'm not like in phenomenal shape at this point of, I'm already a little nervous of like, well, last time I was only to do 2 rounds, but I told Skylar like, all right, I want to go harder.
Right.
I'm in it. And you guys can see, it's not going to be super glamorous.
Right.
I'm going to get my butt kicked.
Right.
And like, at least so you guys, like maybe you do 1 round and you're like, that's all I got. That's great. Mm-hmm. Like do what you can do. And then hopefully we push each other to be like, maybe Philip's dying at round 2, but he got to round 4. Yeah. Maybe it's like, maybe you guys are dying at round 1, you got to round 2. At least we're pushing each other.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all struggling through it together.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, let's record this, because I know this is something I'd want to see. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're doing the workout. Oh, you're not just showing the exercise, you're showing, oh my God, you're tired. Oh, right. You maybe are like, oh, you're not quite doing this right. I'm like, I didn't even know I wasn't doing it right. So that's why I was like, as we said, it's just going to be fun to record and see what happens and look back on, and hopefully 6 months from now, I could be like, oh bro, this workout's easy. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't the very first time I did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and it'll be great. Same thing with my play. Like, you know,
ideally in a year, you're going to look at the video and be like, oh my God, I was terrible. Right. And you're going to be like, I love that. That means you've improved so much.
Exactly.
That a year from now, you're like, that version of myself really wasn't that good.
Right.
But then we keep getting better and you're like, I really have come a long way. And let's say you have a poor week of pickleball.
Right.
You can reflect back and be like, dude, I've come so far. I've gone through this same thing before. I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Being a 5-0, not because like, yeah, I can hang with them, which I can, you know, and it's fine, you know, and I can hang and it's fine. I'll win some games with some 5-0 players here, and great. But really, can I call myself that consistently because I know exactly why I won that game? Or did they just have an off game and I won just because they lost, you know? Or maybe they're working on something and I don't know that and I thought I just won, you know? And so there's a big difference between I'm moving better and I'm faster and I'm stronger, and I know I am because I could do this better than I could before. And I'm better because I won this game when I lost it before, and so I think I'm better. And there's a difference between that and no, I'm doing more, I'm faster, stronger, and no, I'm consistently beating those players and making better shot selections and seeing objectively why I'm better or faster than I was before. So, yeah.
And then ideally having those same players invite you to play more.
Right, exactly.
Now you get into better groups. Now you also have better training. So then it's like it becomes a little bit easier to improve as people keep helping you. You get into a higher level group. You get used to it more.
Right.
Now it's not like the first time you get invited, you're overwhelmed to be like, oh my God, I've never seen this type of shot or pace.
Right.
You're like, actually, I see this every day now.
Right, right. Absolutely.
And then you come to me and we're like, all right, this is what's happening. Every time I play these guys, I'm winning in this way or I'm losing in this way. It's like,
yeah.
All right, let's find out, how do we get you into ways to win more?
Yeah.
How do we get out of the losing ways? And kind of that's how you like develop your game and what works for you.
Yeah.
And then through it, hopefully you then realize like, oh, I'm great at these patterns, not so good at these patterns.
Yeah.
And then we formulate your game plan based on all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that's kind of encapsulates what we're trying to do, what we're going to be doing. And we should probably go do a workout now, right?
Yeah, let's get it.
Get real, bro. Come on, let's go. All right, that was 40 minutes.
Oh.
Do we have time for a workout? What time is it?
8:24.